section from the introduction to the book. This is in the prologue, and just gives you a little bit of perspective of where I'm coming from. Do you long to do more with music? Is the idea nagging at you like a puppy nipping at your heels? Or is it a whisper you hear now and again, like something you've forgotten to do? It's one thing to hear inspirational stories about people who've picked up an instrument, or to read the way music is good for your heart, mind, and spirit. But how can you take the next step toward making your own life more musical? I've been down that road. After stumbling down a musical path over 15 years, I've discovered a lot about playing music in the second half of life. Yet there's been no book to help others go down that path more smoothly. So I talked with dozens of musicians, read countless articles, dug down to find rare resources, and pulled it together into this book to make things easier for you. I'll show you how to choose an instrument, learn and practice with the latest methods, improve your musicianship, enjoy playing with others, and build a rich music community. I returned to music in my 40s. I was an amateur guitar player, a mediocre singer, and a rusty bass player. Not a lot to work with there. I'd last performed as a teenage music teacher, leading my kids in song to a captive and sympathetic audience. I knew very little about music and nothing about the music business. Now I'm in my 50s, and my husband Gene and I have recorded 3 albums, 2 of them reaching the top 10 on the folk radio charts. We've played at festivals and weddings, cafes and bars, listening rooms and house concerts as we held down full-time jobs. In the process, we've strengthened old friendships and made new ones. Research suggests that I've also improved my brain, although sometimes I wonder. Its memory, processing ability, and health. Music has intensified my perceptions and emotions, bringing out the highs and bringing up the lows. I hear sounds differently and enjoy them more deeply. Music has transformed my days and my years. And my throat. As a kid, excuse me. As a kid, I never imagined such a future. I lived in the present, where songs were an emotional soundscape. I listened to them everywhere, in my car and in my room, when I went out with friends. I took guitar and bass lessons. I felt the world intensely. And music added another layer of richness. Excuse me. But as I built a career and a nest, that musical soundtrack receded. In my middle years, I noticed how much I missed it and how little attention I actually paid to music. Many people I know find themselves at a distance from the powerful relationship they had with music that they had as teenagers and young adults. Gene was a dedicated musician during his youth, though he spent less time on music in his middle years too. He started young, wrote his first good song at 19, and caught my eye while performing solo at 21. I was at the Williams Corner bookstore downtown. We began dating, and I would listen to him play 2 or 3 nights a week. He paid for most of his college expenses by performing and teaching guitar. He practiced 6 hours a day instead of doing his schoolwork. But by his 30s, he chose life in academia. With the pressures of studying, teaching, and publishing, he found music taking a backseat as well. So it is for many of us, raising children, building careers, maintaining a household. These huge time commitments demand our attention and energy. One study of amateur musicians found that over 90% interrupted their musical activity for 20 years before returning to it. So if you're one of those people, you'll face obstacles no matter where you are musically. If you're starting out, you may question whether your goals are attainable. If you've had a long layoff, you may find it discouraging that your skills are rusty. If you've been playing regularly, you may have hit a plateau. And if you've had a health setback, you may need a new approach. You're not alone. Learning music requires persistence and effort. Playing is a thrill, but we all hit rough patches along the way. It's no wonder that it's tough. We're building calluses on our hands, rewiring our brains, fine-tuning our attention to others, and training our ears to hear things we didn't notice before. But is anything deeply enjoyed not hard-earned? Playing music is one of life's great joy rides, one you can take with a warm community to help you along the way. Join us on that ride.